Welcome once again to your weekly update from the city of New Hope. Always great to chat with the mayor, Kathi Hemken. Welcome, Mayor. How are you today?
Hi, Dave. Just fine, thanks.
Thanks for being with us once again. We've got a lot to talk about, and we've got a special feature new added to the program. We're going to give you a calendar of some of the upcoming events at the very end. So we'll mention some things during the show, but at the end, we'll run all those dates one more time so you can take a look and make sure you get them down in your calendar. So more to come on that. Well, let's begin with the Met Council. Tell us a little bit about what the Met Council is and tell us about the new representative for the area of New Hope and surrounding areas.
Well, the Metropolitan Council pretty much takes care of all of our water, sewer, obviously the bus and transportation systems. We in New Hope are in District 6, and our representative resigned just recently. So a gentleman by the name of John Pacheco has been appointed to fill that seat until January of 2023, and then they'll have another time for people to apply. So we'll have a new representative at least in New Hope.
One other note we want to mention is home valuations, information coming out to residents at this point, and things have changed over the past year. Mayor, tell us about the valuations, what people are seeing, and how they can maybe ask questions if they have them.
Well, you should have got your tax statement by now. If you haven't, it's coming soon. The houses in New Hope on average went up about 17%. So of course, when your house value goes up, your taxes go up. So there will be a meeting on the 14th of April at 7 o'clock. It's called the Appeal and Equalization Meeting, but there's a phone number you can call. If you don't think you've been evaluated properly, call that city phone number. They'll get in touch with you. Just leave a message and they'll talk about what happened and does it make sense for you to show up at the meeting on the 14th.
There you see that number at the bottom of the screen, 763-531-5108 for more information about the valuations. A business to talk about that is located in a neighboring city and was hoping to have a retail location at a business that's been vacant for a while, but it doesn't sound like things will be happening.
It won't. It's P&C Daycare. So they were going to move into where Marco's Pizza is, and it just didn't work. You know, they had to do a lot of inside renovation and the price of materials and then the supply chain not being able to get them. So it just isn't going to work for them. The owner of that property is going to re-offer the property to other businesses.
Okay. Community development news, a number of things happening in this area. The first is fair housing policy. Again, what is the fair housing policy? Why is this important for New Hope residents?
Well, basically, it's a policy that says we're going to treat everybody fairly when it comes to housing. Other cities have done that. We thought it was important that we do it. So we have that policy, and now they're just doing some tweaking, and it should be on the website shortly so you can see what it is.
newhopemn.gov, the website to go to. And if you go under live and housing, you can find that information shortly. Curbside appeal program. This sounds rather exciting. A new program coming to the city of New Hope. What is that all about?
Well, we found some money. Whether it came from the federal government or where it came from, I'm not sure. But we decided to do an exterior program where people can get some work done on their house and then look for a reimbursement. I believe it's up to $2,500. That we're doing that program layout now. So when that's all done, it'll go on the website also. But the only reason I'm telling people about it now is if you're thinking of doing some outside work. Now, it doesn't include inside work. Okay. So it might be a driveway, it might be new windows, it might be just some outside siding that's being done. So you might want to wait and see when that program comes out and see if you can get some financial help to do some of that outside. So it's curb appeal that we're looking for.
Let's move ahead to scattered site housing, always keeping residents up to date on some of the properties that are being worked on. The first is 42nd and Boone, the treehouse property. How is that progressing?
So the EDA, the Economic Development Authority, which the council is all part of, have agreed that they can bid up to $250,000 for that property. It sounds like we're probably going to get it for that. Treehouse has come to the city and wants to sell the property to the city. Once we buy that, the closing should be sometime in early June. We'll then tear down the property because it really is an old house. Tear it down, split it in 2 lots, and then sell those lots to developers. We'll have 2 big single-family homes put there.
Next property is 52nd in Pennsylvania. A lot of work happening here, and it looks like things are about wrapping up.
They are. Donna Holmes tells us end of March, first part of April, they'll have that house done and then it'll go on the market.
And let's move up to 53rd in Rhode Island. This is the property that will have some demolition work. Give us an update there.
Well, we just awarded the contract to Nitty Roll-Off Services for the demolition. Now, if you've been watching the property, they've been doing some the fire station has been doing some work there just to kind of practice and get better at their skills, if you will, some training. So that demolition, they've got 3 months from the time we've given them the contract to tear it down. So that should be happening shortly too.
And final property to update residents on is 58th in Boone. How are things going there?
Well, I have to look at my note on that one.
Okay.
Oh, so that's the one that went to the sheriff's sale.
Right.
So what happens there is that in the sheriff's sale, they put a minimum bid on. We only have to bid $1 more to at least fulfill that minimum bid. That house has really been deemed inhabitable. So I can't imagine that anybody would want to buy that, because as soon as we buy it, we'll tear it down and then a single family home will go there. So it's been just an eyesore for many, many months there. It's been a whole year since it's been occupied. And it's because of this sheriff's sale and going into foreclosure that it takes so long to get it. But we'll be buying that property shortly.
All right, we'll keep you up to date on scatter site progress. Let's next move over to the business networking group. We've been talking about a meeting that they've been anticipating for some time. It occurred. How did that go, and what's up next?
Oh, it was a huge success. It was at Pocket Square. So we got a little update on Fairweather Design. That's the guys that do website designing. There were a lot of new people there, probably 25 to 30 people were in attendance. So we got a little bit of a tour of Pocket Square, and then I left, but some of the people might have been tasting some of the things Pocket Square has to offer. So the next business networking meeting is the 6th of April, and that'll be at Thrivent, right off of Bass Lake Road at 8:30 in the morning. So hopefully we'll have a good turnout for that one too.
Very good. More business news. The business use certificate of occupancy. There's a particular building across from the Y that's seeing some activity. Who's going to be coming in?
Well, it's this big white building just to the east of the Y, and they've got suites there. So what's coming there is exterior sales solutions. So obviously they're selling exterior products like siding and shutters. There's something called Fun Engineers. And what it is engineering for kids. And that's where they're going to store their materials and their prep stuff for these classes they'll be giving, engineering classes they'll be giving for kids.
Interesting.
And the other one is Northwards Consulting. And basically that's just a suite of offices so that people, if they need a place to meet, they can meet there.
Let's next go to police. Remind residents of a few things happening there. And it sounds like the chief has been busy meeting with others around the area. Tell us first about meeting with the Hennepin County Attorney's Office.
Well, he just met with them to discuss the violent crime prevention. There's a lot of violent crime going on, and it's not just in Minneapolis, it's coming out to the suburbs too. And so the Attorney General is meeting with the police chiefs to talk about what they can do and how we can prevent some of these violent crimes from happening.
And another ongoing meeting that happens is the Tri-City Chiefs meeting. They have a quarterly meeting, and that just recently occurred as well.
It did. It's always fun to see the police chiefs of New Hope, Crystal, and Robbinsdale get together,
right?
Because they've known each other for so long, and they all have nicknames. And it's really hard to not call my police chief, but when they're calling each other these nicknames and they get along so well. So they have been doing some meetings where not only are the three of them there, but sometimes they invite the public and they'll talk about common problems that they have. So it's really nice to know that those three police chiefs are meeting on a regular basis.
Let's move to Public Works. A few items to update residents on here. The first is something you might see along the boulevards, some trimming of ash trees. What is going on? What's the process this year with the ash trees and the emerald ash borer?
Well, the emerald ash borer is prevalent in New Hope, and they're not trimming those ash trees. They're taking those down.
Okay. Because
they're going to die. The trimming that they're doing is other trees that are kind of leaning into the wires. So if they take a tree down on your boulevard, on that 15-foot easement in front of your house, you'll get a list of trees that you can pick from to have that tree replaced. Now, the city does not take down any trees on private property. So we can't take the tree down in your backyard, or we can't take it down if it's closer to your house, but we'll take those boulevard trees down and you'll get to replace them. They're also removing the emerald ash from the parks and the golf course. And again, those trees are going to die and they need to get them down before they spread the disease even further.
And as we record this on a Monday afternoon, we are fresh off a weekend of a little bit of white stuff coming out of the sky. How did things go on the plowing front for the city?
Oh, our snow plows are so good. They are really good. They were up at 2 a.m. plowing like they always are. But I want to remind people that the snow plows plow the public areas that are owned by the city, like our parking lots and in front of City Hall and the police station. They'll also plow the sidewalks that belong to the city. They do not plow the sidewalks on our private property unless they do it on regular time, if they've got time to do that.
Okay.
But snow on a sidewalk in front of your property is your responsibility to shovel that. And don't expect the city to come out and shovel that, because we don't do that.
The nice part about this time of the year is that snow comes down. It melts pretty fast, so the roads and sidewalks are looking pretty good. But again, a good reminder to get out there and plow those sidewalks. But speaking of the change of the season, now we're starting to see some potholes and maybe even sinkholes. What should we do if we find these great things around town?
Well, last week they repaired a sinkhole by one of the catch basins.
Okay.
But if you happen to have a pet pothole in front of your house, we need you to call us and let us know that it's there, because we don't necessarily just drive up and down the street looking for these things. But if you let us know that there's a pothole in front of your house or someplace that you're traveling, we'll get out there and put some asphalt in it and at least get it patched until it's time to be able to lay some decent stuff down. We don't want potholes.
Right.
And of course, if they're left, they just get worse.
Very good. Let's move to Park and Rec. A lot happening here. The first, we start off with some recent dance competitions. So what have the dancers in town been up to?
We have a dance competitive team, and there was a competitive competition in Chanhassen last weekend. I don't know how they did. I called and they didn't have the results in, so I don't really know how they did, but they're pretty active, and they do a lot of these competitions in this time of the year. So now the gymnastics spring programs are just getting started. So it's still time to sign up if you haven't already. They should start this week.
And the place to find out information about a lot of these great programs is the Inmotion Magazine. That is out and about and is full of information, right, Mayor?
It is full, and that's where I got all the information at the end of this program on the dates of fun stuff that's happening. So if you happen to get your Inmotion and you threw it away, you can always go into City Hall and get another one. And I keep telling people that what a great gift for birthdays and Easter is to give those kids a little gift certificate to help reduce the cost of some of the programs. So you can tape that little gift certificate to your Inmotion and give it to them as a gift. And the kids seem to really like it.
Mayor, I did not throw mine away. I've got it right here. So this is what it looks like with a great picture on front of the little kids playing ball. Also inside here is information about the pool and the pool passes. And I understand people have been responding early and often.
They have. So those came out, and within a couple of days, we had 47 pool passes sold.
Wow.
Now, that's a long ways from the 47,000 that went to the pool last year, but it's a start. And so you know that summer is just around the corner.
And let's talk a little bit about something else that comes up in the summer. Kind of an annual favorite is the safety fair. And we've got some great news of a business coming alongside to make sure everyone who wants to and signs up early, I guess is the word here, can get to that camp. Who is a great partner?
So parents and grandparents, pay close attention to this.
Okay.
Affinity Credit Union has donated $3,750 and specified that every one of the 75 campers that want to go to safety camp this year, their fee will be paid for by Affinity Credit Union. But there's only 75 spaces. So you must get on the ball and get those kids registered. So go to your Inmotion, and the registration's in there. And if you can't find your Inmotion or you didn't get it, you can call City Hall and get that child registered. But those 75 spaces are going to fill up pretty darn quick.
What a great offer. Thanks to the business for helping out. Let's talk about seasonal jobs. You're in the market as well for people to come work for the City of New Hope. during the summer months. What can they do? How do they apply?
Well, I kind of wish I didn't have this other job because I'd love to go work at the pool.
Yeah.
So the pool's hiring, the golf course is hiring. We're hiring for park pals, people that are in the parks helping kids with the projects, doing lawn mowing, all kinds of tasks for the city. So if you're interested in a summer job and they're part-time, it pays well. There's an application form online and there's also one in the Inmotion. And if you can't get online and you can't find your Inmotion, you can always call City Hall and say, I want to apply for a summer job, and we'll get you one.
Perfect. Lots of options there. The website, again, at the bottom of the screen, newhopemn.gov. Next, we want to touch on something that has closed, and we had some of the part-time workers there. This is the skating rinks. Unfortunately, they have met with the challenge of the sun, and they have lost, right?
They have lost, yep. The ice is melting, and it's kind of sloppy out there. So all of the warming houses and the ice rinks might be open, but you're going to get wet.
Yep.
But all of the warming houses are closed.
All right.
And so those winter jobs now are gone, and those kids will be applying for summer jobs, I'm sure.
Yeah, great opportunities in the city. Let's talk a little bit about some of the parks in town. First, we want to start with Hidden Valley Park. We've talked about the playground there. Give us an update of what's coming up next in the process for that playground.
So a couple of weeks ago, they met with the playground people, the ones that do the actual equipment, and they picked out some possible things they would like to see in the park at Hidden Valley. So there were 16 adults and 3 kids, and they were very vocal on what they wanted.
Good.
So now the playground company will come back with some designs, and this meeting is going to be on March 9th at 6 o'clock at the New Hope Fire Station.
Okay.
And at that meeting, they'll pick out their final choice of what they want and the colors they want. If you happen to miss the first meeting, doesn't mean you can't come to the second one, because we need all the voices that we can get to pick out the right equipment for the right kids at Hidden Valley Park.
And another park project we talked about last year was Corner Park, and I understand there's some great news on some financial help for that park. What has happened?
Hennepin County has a sports grant that they offer of $25,000, and we always applied for that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we were informed that we would be getting that money for Corner Park. So the equipment's already in. We have to send in some documentation and some receipts, and then we'll get the $25,000 to compensate some of the money that we spent on that park. So that's always exciting.
More Park and Rec news. Here's a few things for your calendar. And again, we'll mention them at the end of the program. A couple big events coming up is the Step to a Challenge and the Bike Rodeo. Tell us about those fun events for city residents.
Step to a Challenge is the 1st to the 31st of May. You could just go online. The sooner you sign up, the more they have goodies that they give out, T-shirts and bottles and things like that, water bottles. So sign up. It's a personal challenge. So you go into your computer every day and put in the activities you might have performed. And then during the 4 weeks, they give out prizes for those who have participated and those who have the higher steps. So that's something if you haven't done it, it's really kind of fun. It's a way to get you to get moving, if you will.
You bet. The
other thing is the Bike Rodeo, and that's on May 5th. And I'm just telling people early so you can get it on your calendars. That's a free event. It's going to be at Golden Valley City Hall. It moves between the 3 cities, so they all have a chance to have it. It'll be in person, so the kids they have been getting free helmets, and they have some bike safety stuff. So the kids really like it, and that's a free event also.
It is a fun event. All right, let's move to the golf course, a final Park and Rec update here. And you've been holding out hope, Mayor, that you'd be able to golf on the same date you did last year, March 13th, but the snow over the weekend maybe said no to that. Is that right?
They said no, not March 13th. So you'll have to watch and see. It should be on the reader boards when we're going to open.
Okay.
Typically what happens is the golfers show up before we officially open.
Sure.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, it's good enough. We're coming in. So it won't be the 13th of March, but if you want to play in a league or you want lessons, you can start signing up for leagues now, and you can start signing up for lessons now. Those lessons, of course, won't start till the weather gets a little bit nicer.
Makes sense. All right. The website, again, newhopemn.gov. You can find out about the golf course and many of the other opportunities in the city. And again, you can probably find some of these dates there, but we're going to make it easier for you. And we're going to run a list now of some of the dates of things coming up in April and May and even out into June, and we'll keep updating this as we move throughout the year. Mayor, thanks once again for your time today, and we'll look forward to talk to you again next week for another New Hope update.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Learn more about The Connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.